Hello beautiful souls, my name is Beatrice and I welcome you back to my Journey Faithful Compassion Hub. I know it's been a while we are not broadcasting, so I welcome everyone back. Today we will dive deep into the powerful teachings of Eckanker and Harold Klemp. Today's message is going to be a bit different because instead of me waiting to react at the end of the video like I usually do, I'll be jumping in midway through to explore a really important point about consciousness and the role of challenges in our daily lives and our spiritual journeys. So guys, be prepared because I'll be breaking down a concept that I think a lot of people, especially from certain religious communities, need to hear. This is a message that could change the way you think about challenges, prayers, and how you see life. So let's get into it.
Now this was soul trying to maintain or to have a political freedom. Now these are the first stages of spiritual freedom in this world. This is why there's such an interest in politics. People are looking to make freedom and a better life through politics. And essentially they're going back to this, way back to this mental enslavement that had someone to do the thinking for you and everybody else is the slaves to that thought. That is what it is. And of course, when we find ourselves in a place where the conditions are tolerable to allow the freedom of belief that we would like to practice, well then, we agree and we let everything be and we support a good government. We support these governments. But this is how it went. Xerxes, the son of King Darius, came back and he was going to beat the Greeks. And in short, the Greeks did it all over again. The Greeks beat the Persians, and at the end of it, Xerxes said, "Hey, my friends, let's be friends." He says, "All I want to do is count you as friends and allies." Well, of course, you will have to live under Persian law, but it's no big thing. Everybody likes to live under Persian law. And the Persians did have good administrators. Good administrators, they had top-notch government, they had everything. They had a lot of money. They were the imperial power of the day. But the Greeks said, "No, we're going to fight you every day until we die. We don't want this thing you're offering us. We want freedom. Don't you get it, man? Don't you get it, Xerxes? We want freedom." Now this is interesting because I believe the Egyptians, and certainly not the Persians, they just didn't have a word for freedom. There was no such word because there was no such mental concept, because there was no such physical condition. Well, this sort of thing was going on way back when? Way back in ancient Greece. It was going on in 19th century America and all throughout history, and there are even these forces at work today. People are saying, even as the Greeks did, they said, we want to make our own laws. And that if we go into a country, we should allow them their own laws, and so on. And so, at what point does an individual or a country break spiritual law? Well, anytime you impose your will upon someone else. This is part of the principle of freedom. This is what we do. Your freedom ends where my nose begins, and so on. Well, a lot of times, somebody ends up with a bruised nose, and then the fighting starts, and this is usually what happens, And this is when, nations, tribes go after each other. Someone bruised the other's nose. Somebody overstepped, thought he was bigger than he actually was, and the other one says, "Get off my 40 acres." And that's it. The Greeks said to the Persians, get off my 40 acres. Okay. And this is what happens.
As I reflect on this message, another critical point stands out, one that is incredibly important in our daily lives and our spiritual lives. It's the idea of letting each soul follow its path without interference. So often people feel the need to control or impose their ideas or will on others, thinking that they know what's best. But in reality, the soul must be free to choose its own direction, to learn and grow as it wills. True spiritual freedom means not just freeing ourselves, but respecting the freedom of others. We should never meddle in another person's spiritual journey or try to dictate their path. It's a personal experience between that soul and the divine. Mahanta, as Harold Klemp teaches, never stands in anyone's way. He allows each soul to exercise its free will, and that's something we should practice in our relationships with others. Let each soul find its way.
Now, I find it ironic today that so many people say we shall work for peace. But until there's peace in every man's heart, there won't be peace in the world. Because it starts with each individual. And it begins with consciousness. Well, in a word, the consciousness, the general consciousness of the human race isn't there yet. Where there is this peace in every man's heart, not even in the leaders. And that's how it is. Because this is earth. Who set this place up? God set this place up. Who's running the place? The negative power. Why? Because God said so. Why? Because that's his job. It takes the most negative person to run this place. And why? To create challenges. And what does that do? It makes soul call forth its creative powers. It makes the individual look beyond his physical strength and his mental powers to something else that people don't really have a word for or an understanding of. A word for, yes, soul, but they think this is some sort of the higher mind. But they don't understand soul. They don't understand that this is a chip off the old God. And I think one of the hardest things that religion has in the way of questions now is, well, why does God allow evil? If they could just accept the fact that Satan is one of the angels of God, here to do a job, to throw up challenges. I believe ours is a happier world. There are three things needed for spiritual freedom. The first is the Eckanker. Why? Because he can show the individual soul the way to the light of God and open his ears to the heavenly music. The first step then is the living Eckanker. The second is the heavenly music, or the voice of God, the Ek. And then Jivan Mukti, this is spiritual liberation in this lifetime. This comes at the fifth initiation. The fifth initiation comes after self-realization, which is this experience of the Eckanker. The experience comes first. And when a person truly has it, it's an ecstasy of soul, of a kind. You know, you have to say, all right, what is all this then? Well, those of you among the initiates of Ek who've had the true spiritual or the self-realization will have known an ecstasy such as none other. Your ears will have been opened now, and should have been a long time, to the music of God, and your ears open, and your eyes opened rather, to the light of God, the blue light, or the light of the Mahanta and other people. And then comes this spiritual liberation, or this spiritual freedom. It simply means that at this point one need never ever come back to the lower worlds. A second initiate need never come back to the physical world, to earth. He's broken that after the second initiation. And of course, there's always the free will and the freedom to give it up, to give it back, to say, no, I've gone far enough. I don't want to go any farther. I want to become an Episcopal or a Pentecostal or something, or a Baptist or a Catholic, or a Muslim, or a Hindu. I want to become something else. And the Mahanta, the living Ekmaster, will never, ever stand in an individual's way. He will always let each soul have the freedom to do as it will, because that soul is operating within the state of its own consciousness. It must be where it's comfortable. It must do what it feels right doing, because there's no hurry. There is absolutely no hurry. So I would like to thank you. My love is always with you. I am always with you. May the blessings be. Thank you.
This part really resonates because it highlights something that I believe many of us, especially within certain religious communities, misunderstand. We tend to blame an enemy or Satan for every challenge in our lives. A lot of people often view every hardship as a battle against an external force. But here is the thing. What if these challenges aren't something to fight, but opportunities to grow spiritually? According to Eckanker and Harold Klemp teachings, Satan isn't just an enemy, but actually a part of God's plan, meant to present us with challenges necessary for our soul's growth. So instead of praying those battle prayers where we are fighting against Satan, maybe we should shift our focus. Instead of resisting, we should learn to embrace struggles as tools for spiritual advancement. This message is a profound reminder that true freedom, whether spiritual, political, or personal, start from within. The world around us might always not be conducive to the freedom we seek, and the challenges seem to be overwhelming. But as Harold Klemp teaches, those very challenges are part of the divine. We are caught up in blaming others, our circumstances, or even Satan for the difficulties we face in our lives. Listen to this. When we do that, we give away our power. We fall into mental slavery, believing that someone else is controlling our destiny. Imagine. Every obstacle and every hardship is an opportunity for our soul to rise to the higher level of consciousness. What if we stop asking that, why is this happening to me? And start asking that, what is this teaching me? Imagine how transformative that could be. The path to spiritual freedom isn't about escaping the challenges, but it's about understanding the purpose. It's about recognizing that everything, even the most negative experiences, is designed to help us awaken our spiritual potential. And once we understand that, we start to see the world differently. We stop feeling like victims and start embracing our role as creators of our own spiritual destiny. So my message to you today is, take control of your spiritual journey. Realize that every challenge is an invitation to step into a higher consciousness. Embrace the struggles and trust the process. Know that you have the power within you to achieve the higher true spiritual freedom. Thank you so much for taking time to watch this video till the end. Please share the video, like and subscribe, comment below. Thank you so much.